My fun background music. All right, that's enough of that. Welcome, y'all, to Liberty Libations. My name is Jake Green. I'm joined by Stephen Hilton and Nick Saselski, soon to be joined by Jeffrey Scholl, who's late. Which really, from what I know of Jeffrey, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Um, we're literally just going to talk nonsense, talk liberty, talk whatever we feel like talking, and just hang out. And if you want to join in on the conversation, feel free to start commenting and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, Nick, do you have any? What's up, Zach? Do you have any stories you want to talk about first?
I only got home like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at.
Well, Zach's already taken a dig at Jeffrey. So
I did stop at Bucky's though. So
oh, congrats. Way to
the brisket sandwich.
gotta always get a brisket sandwich.
Man, you can't touch those things.
All right. Well, y'all, I have some really, really good news for Georgia. Let me see if I can share this Brave tab. The First Lady is coming to Georgia. She's coming to hang out with Stacey Abrams and promote her her campaign. You think that'll help or hurt the campaign?
Are they going to be serving breakfast tacos?
I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I did see a video of her getting off Air Force One or Air Force Two to get down here, which seems like a giant waste of resources. Like, you're flying the First Lady down to a Stacey Abrams rally, and you're using like an enormous jet to do it.
Well, they have smaller ones. Like they have the big.
No, this thing was huge. It was Air Force One or Air Force Two. It was enormous.
Well, Air Force One technically only refers to a plane that the president's on, and it can be any plane. But the big 747s, they don't necessarily always take those. There's a smaller jet they use.
No, this thing was big. It took her like 10 minutes to walk the steps down from the plane. So it was huge.
Well, at least she left the guy behind who would.
That should really help traffic on 285 with the lane closures, you think?
that could be part of it. Yeah, it's
285 traffic.
It's just ridiculous that like they preach all this climate change crap, yet they're still flying around in enormous jets just to. Oh, here we go. Zach says all airplanes look small to Nick. Oh wait, yeah, that was a good one. Let's see. I did like that one. I actually do have one to talk about. Thank you, Zach, for reminding me. I did retweet it earlier today from my personal account, which is at DJ Green. If anybody wants awesome content. Let's see. There it is. I really hate that you have to share the daggone screen every single time.
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're running for us. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money.
Second guy got in on it. I love it.
You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against. That's what you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or no? Okay, simple. Are you going to stop nuclear war? Yes or no? There is no line because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead. None of it. You know that. Then let's take it up right now because this is the only thing that matters. This is the only thing that matters right now. We could be in a nuclear war at any minute and you continue to fund it. That's what's going on. Why not right now? You're the liar here. Nobody has held you accountable. That's what's happening. And it is time for you to stand up and realize that what you've been saying has been lies. Let your conscience come through for once.
Heck yeah.
Great video.
I mean, it's phenomenal. I love that one guy started it and then they kicked him out. Another guy
The
just
next dude just hopped right up and is
That's
right at it.
so good. That's so stinking good. It's crazy, man. Like,
What can you say? I mean, she's she goes along with what she's told to do, like all of them.
yep. I mean, at what point, honestly, did the Democratic Party become all about war and supporting Ukraine for some reason? It's crazy.
Somewhere between 2008 and 2014.
There you go.
That reminds me of another thing I retweeted today, which a bunch of people did. The U.S. has dropped at least 337,000 bombs in the past 20 years and has bombed Syria, Yemen, Somalia, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan. But now you care about Ukraine, exactly when the media tells you to.
Jason Bassler's great.
Yeah. Maj retweeted it, and I was like, yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that one. Man, it's crazy. I would have loved to have been at that. I guess it was a town hall, Q&A kind of thing. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that probably wasn't a bad time to remind him that the Republicans have been funding this too.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But I'm fine. The more people telling people to denounce the Democratic Party, I'm fine with that.
There we go.
Oh wait, the whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. AOC. Oh, I forgot to ask, Steven, what are you drinking?
Oh, got a little bit of the homebrew here. This is
Nice.
an IPA that I made with a few friends of mine.
You're an IPA guy, eh?
Really an everything guy, but
Okay.
mostly IPAs.
Gotcha.
I bought into the hop wars and never got off.
Interesting. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beverage. This is my no drinking month. So
Sober October.
Yep, sober October. Try to do that once a year. Bad gum. There we go. Sorry, I had stuff playing in my headsets. Nick, do you have a drink?
I have a bottle of water.
Perfect. That's all you need. Just get high on life.
I mean, like I said, I just got home, so
Hey, fair enough.
I actually have to go into work on Friday tomorrow, although it's for barbecue, so I kind of win there.
Okay, so that doesn't sound so bad. That does not sound like work, I don't think. Steven, you got anything, any topics you want to talk about, or
Let's see.
Some other stuff?
I mean, we could talk about currencies and stuff, kind of picking up where we left off last time.
You could do that. Oh,
I like that.
I think Alex Stein also released a new video.
Okay, I'll pull that up too.
Let's take a quick look there. But
what do you got? What were we talking about last time? I guess we were talking about cryptocurrency or just currencies in
I
general.
think we had
the strength of the dollar versus other major currencies, and the cycle has only continued. The Brits are looking at record high natural gas prices, and I think the pound is coming up on a 30-year low. So it's one of those perfect storm kind of things because they're dealing with inflation, unemployment, all at the same time.
It's really interesting. Do y'all listen to Buck Johnson's podcast? It used to be Death to Tyrants, and now it's the Counterflow.
I do not.
He's based out of Texas, Lockhart, Texas. He's actually running for city council. Great dude. He had on a guest last night who is 100% against the Fed, but says that the Fed is against the World Economic Forum and might actually be the only thing that can save us from the World Economic Forum.
So, I was hearing, who was the guest? Because this sounds like something I've been hearing.
Here, let me see if I can pull that up.
Think what I was listening to.
Because I mean, this guy had like just a crazy amount of information. Like I could barely keep up because he was going so deep and talking about people that I never heard of before. It was really interesting. Let's see. Let's find this sucker. It was Tom Luongo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that name. Yeah, I've heard him on stuff before.
Mr. Jeffrey Scholl.
How's it going?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, same old, same old.
Welcome to the show. We're live.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we went live without you. I hope that's okay with you.
That's fine. This time.
You're really bringing the energy right now.
I'm just, psyched.
This is your first time on Liberty Libations. Do you have a libation?
I do.
What is it?
Good old rum and Coke.
All right. Classic. That's a good one. Nick has a water. Steve's drinking a homemade IPA. And I've got a non-alcoholic Heineken. It's left over from last year's Sober October. It's over a year.
You actually buy the non-alcoholic stuff?
I bought a 6-pack for Sober October last year, and I didn't get through them all. so that should tell you something.
The Heineken is actually the good one. That and was it St. Pauli Girl?
Yeah,
one too. It's not bad.
I tried a few different ones, and they're not terrible. Like there's the aftertaste is weird. It's not like, I don't know what it is, but like I think maybe the alcohol in a beer maybe destroys the aftertaste of whatever this is, because it's not ideal. But I ordered. Have y'all heard of Curious Elixirs? They do non-alcoholic like cocktails, so like mocktails, and they'll do like their super complex formulations of, I don't know, different stuff, and they look really, really freaking good. So I ordered some of those, but they're not here yet. They're on back order apparently. So let's see. John Liberty says, "Sorry, I'm late. Do I need a doctor's note?" That'd be preferable if you could post that in the comments. That'd be great. He says, "I haven't had a drink all year. I accidentally quit."
You can fix that right now.
You can accidentally keep going.
Quitters never win. That's what I was always taught.
What's that?
I said quitters never win.
Yeah. Anyway, Tom Luongo was talking about how he's actually cheering on the Fed at the moment because they're the only ones that will be able to save us from the World Economic Forum, which sounds interesting, but it also kind of sounds like saying, well, Donald Trump's the only one that can save us from Joe Biden. It's like, this seems like BS.
It seems like the same script, just on a different stage.
Yeah.
So the people
framing up like that too, like members of the European Central Bank are coming out and telling the Fed, don't raise interest rates again. You're going to crash our currency. Was it your plan all along? It just seems so scripted. I've seen this before somewhere else, maybe at home. It's just, I can see right through it.
Yeah. I guess this guy, Tom Luongo, was talking about, he wasn't like doing it from a fear-based, he wasn't like trying to get people fearful, which I feel like when you're talking about, Republicans versus Democrats, they're always just trying to have you scared of the other person. he gave a lot of very interesting, some factual, some I have no idea because he took the deep dive. I didn't. And yeah, it was interesting. Like he's definitely coming at it from like a research based standpoint. So I don't know. It was an interesting episode. It was a lot of information in like 30 minutes. Like, I don't know how he went that deep in 30 minutes, but it was nuts. Well, there's John's doctor's note, y'all. John Liberty. Please excuse John Liberty. He accidentally quit drinking. He suffers from chronic sobriety. Doctor.
I mean, honestly, like, as long as you've argued with someone who claims to be a doctor on Twitter and in the past year or two and made them out to be a complete idiot, I think you earn their degree and just can write all the notes you want.
Sounds fair.
You win a doctor's degree by like combat on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, if you prove them to be an idiot, then you deserve what they, in their field, you deserve what they've earned. Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting. I wonder, like, that. I mean, Michael Malice would basically be a doctor. He'd be a lawyer. He'd be everything at this point. Like, he's dominated everyone on Twitter.
See, that's the world I want to live in. Michael Malice is a doctor or a lawyer, even better.
Yeah, you're just acquiring titles as you defeat people from Twitter page to Twitter page.
Well, they'll learn to not be so dumb on Twitter.
I don't think they will. No one learns that. You're still dumb on Twitter. Come on. All right, here's another Alex Stein video, y'all.
Name is Ronnie. I am a rat. If you talk crap, I'll get the gat. Get the booster, test it on 8 mice. I don't really care if you got lots of lice. I'm a pimp on a blend, teaching my kids their gender. We can cut it off, throw it in a blender. Gender reassignment surgery is the key. It will set you free. Get a mastectomy. I love when you cut it off. Then you can be the boss. I'm a teacher, not a preacher. God is fake. The earth evolved from pond scum. 2 rocks smashed together. That's how we got here. Tony the rat. Don't grab the gas. I don't really care if you sit in the front or the back. The indoctrination is super strong. You can come to class in your little thong. I don't care what you say. Gotta vaccinate the straight. Gotta vaccinate the gay. So
Goodness gracious.
Jeez. I hadn't watched that. I had seen that he did that he dressed as a rat. I didn't actually hear that until now.
Oh wait, he did another one with
Biden's choice of prostitutes. You guys a good taste. What about California? It's doing pretty bad, isn't it? All the homeless and fentanyl. Nothing to say. These politicians just silent. You walk by them, their states are crashing. What is Washington? How's the crack up there? Just every liberal city run by these guys is crap. What about the sudden adult death syndrome? You ever gonna talk about the sudden adult death syndrome? No, just silent. Think about, what do you think about?
I mean, the balls to do that kind of stuff is kind of impressive. Let's see. We got some more comments. Zach says, I'm easy to dunk on if anybody wants my degree.
Challenge accepted.
Matthew says, what's up, fellas? I'm a little L libertarian. Well, welcome to the show, Matthew. I appreciate you dropping by.
Maybe we can change that and turn you into a big L.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Somquat says Alex Stein may be visiting. Your city council is the only good part of living in a blue city. I
think that checks out.
I agree with that. Gary Johnson did libertarians a severe disservice when he ran the last time. He didn't do as much of a disservice as our last candidate, but I kind of agree with you. I just don't understand why we can't get somebody who's like an eloquent speaker who can finish a complete thought on camera and go through an entire paragraph. Okay, let's not go over that one. Come on.
Isn't that why we got Bill Weld?
Exactly why. First time listener, did one of the hosts just say they weren't drinking because they have to work tomorrow? What kind of American shit is that?
No. It's not because I have to work tomorrow. It's because I just got in the door from driving 3.5 or so hours
These
from
just
what-
sound like excuses, don't you think, Chris?
They're excuses.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
tired. They're excuses.
Thank you. He concurs. And exactly, I'm assuming he's talking about the getting a candidate in who can actually finish complete thoughts.
We'd be the only party with that.
Larry Sharp was all right, but I don't think he was.
Was he our candidate? When did he run for president?
He never ran for president.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
no.
He'd never been that high, but
Oh yeah.
You kidding? I would love a Larry Sharp running for president. That'd be
for
freaking
sure.
awesome. That dude is eloquent as crap. And he actually I love that he focuses on actual solutions and like that. Like he bases his entire campaigns on solutions that he's actually thought through, like put in the time and effort and said, this is exactly what's going to happen if I get elected. He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good one.
Maybe we could have Shane run for president next.
I do not think that will ever happen.
No, if we're lucky, we might be able to get him to run for sheriff of Cherokee County,
Ooh.
if you're super lucky, dude. Like,
which we're already pushing him for. But
man, he on his show the other day, he said he's probably out of politics. So after this, so
that's what he says now.
John Liberty, Larry Sharp is just a lovable dude. Darn right. I remember the meme with Gary Johnson looking all confused, stating they bombed Siri, the iPhone girl.
What is the love?
All right. Chris actually has a good question. Let's see. Have y'all discussed the closing of AMC South from a hospital to an urgent care, or the fact that a major trauma hospital, AMC Maine, is closing the doors in November, and what backflow and what that is going to do to our hospital system? Well, the hospital system has already sucked. I know Martin Cowan has talked about this quite a bit with the whole certificate of need laws here in Georgia. Complete garbage. Like, I don't know much about exactly why AMC Maine is closing down, but I have heard a lot about it. Or I've heard it in the news quite a bit.
Yeah, supposedly a lot of people weren't paying their bills, but apparently, was it Grady that's taking it over?
Yeah, there was some sort of deal struck. I'm not super certain of the details.
Yeah,
but there was some sort of deal struck. But like Chris said there, I guess it's going from a actual hospital to more or less an urgent care.
It's interesting.
So
And
there's
I wonder,
meds, but it's not.
From when we were having our son 6 years ago, that we were looking at different hospitals. We wound up having a home birth on purpose. But they were just talking about, hey, if you ever get a C-section, you're not going to have a natural birth anywhere else. The only places in the state of Georgia, there's one in Savannah, and then AMC South was the other one. If you want to have a natural birth after a C-section, so that option's off the table. So, where's the whole my body, my choice crowd on this one?
Right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, I know that our healthcare system here in Georgia was already super strained and had a lot of problems, especially during COVID. And they weren't. I mean, Martin Cowan came on the Free Georgia podcast a couple months ago and talked about this and how basically, yeah, the certificate of need laws, like you have to get approved to spend more than a certain amount of money on medical equipment or a medical facility. And so if whoever is in charge of approving it is in bed with one of those hospitals or one of the companies that owns those hospitals, and somebody else is trying to create a competing hospital or competing place, then they don't approve it. And so you don't get more healthcare and more medical facilities, which is kind of batshit crazy.
Are you saying they're trying to prevent competition?
What? Jeffrey, how dare you? Jeez. Matthew, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Well, hey, just be glad you didn't go to a Piedmont. We've got some horror stories from that down here in Fayette County. The only approved protocol was we have to put you in a coma and, put you on a ventilator for 2 weeks.
Good God.
Yeah.
God, y'all.
These hospitals, they more or less just straight up killed people. Like, maybe YouTube algorithms ignore this. Maybe I don't know. I'm concerned on this now, but
forget about the algorithms.
That's
Speak
true.
freely.
But
It is a total conspiracy theory that they were getting money from the federal government for each person that died under their care with COVID. That
well,
did
like
not
I
happen.
was listening. It was a while back, but I was listening. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Del Bigtree's show.
Oh yeah,
High Wire there, and there was a story he did, and this story was just straight up heartbreaking. It was this I don't know, young woman with that. I believe she had Down syndrome, and the hospital base, and she caught like a very mild case. It seemed, according to them, it was her family. It was a mild case of COVID, and they said, "Hey, don't do this, don't do that." And eventually, they threw her parents out of the hospital, and proceeded to do whatever they wanted until she was dead.
Jeez.
I mean, just straight up heartbreaking.
That's crazy.
well, and just the protocols too. I mean, that was, right at that time, that was, my mom was going way downhill after an 8-year fight with breast cancer, and one of the cancer treatment centers down here, they tried to tell me at one time that I couldn't go back. I couldn't go see her, and I was like, I'm here to assume medical power of attorney. I legally have to go back here, and they're like, no, you can't go back. I was like, look, if I got to scrub in, put me in scrubs, supervise me, I'm going in. No, let me go talk to my manager. Yeah, of course. Then she comes back and, okay, is it just you? Yeah. Okay, come on back. Why do I have to go through this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's absolutely insane what the healthcare system turned into there. I mean, I've heard the story and from multiple people that just, from several different people, several different places, that like the hospitals for COVID wouldn't even give fluids for dehydration because that wasn't on the approved protocol.
Goodness gracious.
And like I heard that story, and then I had a cousin who got it, and my mom was telling me, oh yeah, he's super dehydrated, and they wouldn't give him fluids on an IV. Now his mom is a nurse, and so she hooked him up, I guess. But I was like, yeah, I have heard that story from other people. That is not.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, and the whole healthcare system in general is garbage. I was listening to, first of all, Matthew, sorry about that, man. Ventilator. Goodness gracious.
Jeez.
And then he says 39,000 per death, 14K per patient on a ventilator. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they were paying.
I remember it was something in the 50s total per. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but then FEMA came out, mid last year, and said that, if you had a relative that died with or of COVID, that they would help cover the funeral cost up to $9,000. And I'm like, that sounds like a payout, kind of like you're kind of admitting guilt.
Yeah.
It's just
I had somebody was one of my friends was like cleaning out. I forget the exact story, but they were cleaning out a house where somebody had died of COVID, or somebody had died with COVID or of COVID or something. And while he was there, the morgue guy, whatever, the coroner, I guess, basically approached him and said, like, if you're okay with it, I'm going to call it a COVID death and I'll split the money with you. It's like,
That's
okay.
disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, it's disgusting.
Sorry, that's disgusting.
Yes.
That was my wife, Mary. She's
100% agree. Let's see, Matthew. They don't have enough education for ventilators and ultimately end up chasing that O2 number. That's what happened to my sister. They poked 3 holes in her lungs. Good Lord.
God.
Chris, let's see. So I'm in the EMS business and we know the issues, but any ideas on ways to fix the healthcare system that isn't government controlled? Actually, yes. So I've been listening to a couple like health related episodes of Rogan. He's had some good guests on recently. This guy, Brigham Bueller. Actually, I'll just pull up his site right now. Brigham Bueller started a place called Ways to Well. And it is an affordable, like, you can go look at it, man. It's super interesting. And it's all about preventative and restorative rather than just treating things as they come. It's trying to get you back. Like if you've had problems, it's trying to get you back to where you were before you had problems, and then keep you that way rather than waiting till you have to take a bunch of pills or go into surgery or do all this stuff. Because he was talking about how anesthesia stays in your system for like 6 months. It doesn't come out of your organs. So if you're like going under for surgery, you're going to suffer effects from anesthesia for a long time, which is kind of crazy.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
But yeah, this is an interesting one.
And I've heard a few too, just from Dr. Michael Savage. Listening to him go off. This is years ago. This is in the early Obama years that he was talking about this kind of stuff. So it was, with the insurance thing, there's laws that prevent people from shopping across state lines with insurance.
Yep.
So what if with your profession you were allowed to band together with everyone in your region? Say everyone in the Southeast, or even everybody in the country. So if it was all EMS workers in the Southeast under the same policy, all those people that actually have some conditions going on or pre-existing conditions, they all wash out.
Yep.
And you're in a much lower pool of incidents.
Yeah.
You got that. You got if you got to use the government as a solution, we got the certificate of need laws we could look at.
Yeah, I would highly recommend if anybody's looking to like watch something entertaining about this, like that's actually good. Dope Sick on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't go into everything because this guy on Rogan the other day, Brigham Bueller, talked about it's not just the pharmaceutical companies. It is the insurance companies that basically run the show and just screw people over, like screw the doctors over. Ever since we switched to like a healthcare or a insurance-based system, like doctors used to come to the house, know your name, know your family, like all that good stuff. And now if they spend more than 7 minutes with you, they're losing money.
Yeah. But there is a growing trend now. And I noticed this, during the lockdowns and all that, concierge doctors. I know there's one down here called GoMed.
Okay.
And it's one of those things you don't even have to have insurance. It's like a flat fee, home visit kind of thing. And they'll come to you even if you're sick.
Yeah.
The direct primary care, that's become a thing that's kicking off. Basically, a membership.
What's that? The one that Dave Smith always promotes.
Well, is that the health share?
Yeah, it's like
crowd share.
It's like a crowd sharing thing.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding thing for healthcare.
So and that's one
way
they
share and things like that, like the what the Mennonites put together.
I don't remember what
it was Obamacare compliant because it's a group.
Yeah, instead of being insurance, it's a crowdfunding, and everyone pays in a certain amount, and they split it, and they have your own health according to what they say in the ads. There, you're assigned your own concierge or whatever, who then helps negotiate with the hospitals and doctors and everything else. But then you have things like the Surgery Center of Oklahoma, where they do all those surgeries, and it's at here's the price up front. We don't do insurance. It's
Yeah. And Cuban just started some pharmaceutical company where he, on his website, he says, this is how much we paid for it. We do a 15% markup. You can get it for this, which is pretty nuts. Like, and because he's like, the reason, like one of the reasons that all these pharmaceutical companies like end up owning all these things is because the people who invent these drugs and these like medicines and stuff end up being bought by the pharmaceutical companies. And he's like, I can't be bought. so fuck them. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm going to keep the prices to what they should be. So
with the regulation that goes in, what the FDA has to do there, it can be $1 billion to bring a new drug to market, and years upon years. And I mean,
but once you do that, you have a patent on it for a decade or more, and it can be approved for multiple purposes afterward.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And they just keep adding or just tweaking a tiny little thing so that they can keep proprietary like coverage on it or whatever. Matthew, I've listened to that podcast, Radio Lab podcast, and it's definitely terrifying. Have y'all listened to that one, the Radio Lab about CRISPR?
I haven't heard that one, but I got a wild hair one day, and I went to the website for Cold Springs Harbor. You know, that research lab up in New York.
I don't know.
Yes.
I watch a lot of little conspiracy documentaries.
This sounds familiar. I'm familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were announcing, this was at the beginning of last year. They were announcing a private-public partnership collaboration with some company, and I forget the name of the company now, but they're going to be going together and researching diseases and illnesses caused by improper RNA splicing and various medications and treatments that could help treat these conditions. And, you know, I couldn't help but wonder why they think there's a new burgeoning market for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting one.
That's
interesting
and terrifying.
And yeah, and like I do find that there's a lot of interesting. There's a lot of people like trying to find solutions for these kinds of things. Like I've started doing like some tests like that you can order online. So like Everlywell is one that I use quite a bit for different kind of tests, and you can get like a full blood panel for a fraction of the cost of what it would be if you like went even like with your deductible and crap or copay or whatever. Like you can order these kinds of tests online now and just send them into a lab that'll do it super quick, super cheap, and super easy. It's amazing.
Like there's options that's coming out there. It's just the big things like hospitals and stuff like that. You're so locked in. And then like everyone gets health insurance through their job. You know, most people get health insurance through their jobs. So you're kind of like, well, I can have it like this, or I can go pay more and deal with headaches over here. And then you're kind of like stuck where it's either break away from that or stick with what's known and what's easy with the health insurance through your job. I mean, so I don't know what, the Obamacare market is on insurance, but last I heard it was not cheap for buying health insurance through that.
Just look at these things.
It was like affordable for 30% of the population.
Okay. Interesting.
Which isn't that great for a government mandated program.
Not great. Look at this.
Oh, luckily the mandate's gone, but
imatinib would normally be $2,500, and that you pay $14.40 on Cuban's website. That's insane. Goodness gracious. Where's what is diabetes meds here? Because that's a big one that people talk about all the time.
So some sort of insulin.
Well, and that was, wasn't Bill Gates caught bragging about the profit margin on vaccines recently?
Goodness gracious.
Was he? I didn't hear that one. Although, I mean,
doesn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
You don't even need to make software anymore. Have you seen the markup on vaccines?
I thought they were free.
Right.
Not that Microsoft's been doing anything impressive in the past decade, 2 decades.
Well, they're like Google. They don't actually create anything. They just buy other people's stuff.
That's all. Yeah, zombie corporations, right? Just buy stuff up. Don't actually innovate.
And this is the site that I get some tests from. I did like a food allergy panel, or food sensitivities. One of these. I don't know. They have a bunch of different kinds of tests that are pretty cheap. You got nutritional health, vitamin supplements. I got all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Geez, yeah. Matthew said the Alex Jones words. I want to get into that later on because I got opinions.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you do, Nick. I'm sure you do.
I came ripping the $1 billion butt hurt man. So
nice.
There's definitely shenanigans afoot with that.
Yeah, I don't have all the details on it, but I don't want to get into it quite yet.
Well, I'm just going to let you and the viewers know that I ain't doing this for 3 hours tonight.
Yes, you are.
I don't have that kind of time tonight, nor do I have the energy to speak on here for.
I can get Will and Buddy on here, and we can just go all night.
Yeah, I'll let, if y'all want to keep it going after I sign off, that's fine.
What do you have to do at 11 p.m.?
What? Sleep. Go to sleep. Oh my
Hey, the
god.
state never sleeps.
But going back to the hospital in Oklahoma, I remember
Yeah.
one of the things that they were talking about was, outpatient things like hip replacement, knee replacements. They don't keep you in. Normally that's like a 3-day hospital stay, and that's
Yeah.
where the bills start to rack up. They put you up in the hospital or the hotel rather across the street because they say you'll get better room service there, and there's private nurses all around the city that will come visit you in your hotel room if you really need care, but you don't.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Way better. They were talking about hip replacements in the Rogan episode, how it used to be metal on metal hip replacement. And so the joints, it would just be metal rubbing up against metal. And over time, that metal would shard. And so it would get into the bloodstream and people would have all sorts of kinds of like metal poisoning, and it would make them basically lose their minds. And like, they have no idea how many thousands of people died because of that and like got dementia and stuff. Freaking nuts, man.
Not to mention mercury fillings for your teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
imagine?
Who's everybody fighting these days? I don't know.
And then the fluoride in the water.
That's one of my soapboxes. I could go on that for a long time.
Goodness
I'm not
gracious.
super-
Sure, it causes brain damage, but think about the teeth.
I just haven't looked into the claims on that one way or another.
You know,
But
one thing I always find hilarious. So I used to watch, I mean, I still do watch TV, but I used to watch like TV shows all the time because, that's my business. I'm in the film industry. And I used to drink the Kool-Aid and all that crap. And there was I remember specifically there was an episode of Parks and Rec where they literally nonstop through the whole episode are just pounding in people's heads that putting fluoride in the water of every city is a good thing. And you're an idiot if you don't agree. Well, it turns out that is definitely not the case. And you should not be drinking fluoride in your water. And you should most likely not be using toothpaste with fluoride either. And it does like some pretty terrible things to your brain. And it's hilarious how often I'll look back and see how like Hollywood has reinforced the narrative that the media and the government has been spouting without any real evidence. It's crazy.
I mean, that's kind of been their role all along, right?
Yeah, but you don't know that, if you're not in this world that the four of us are in, like there's no way to know that. There's just not. Like I didn't know. No, it's crazy.
Well, and a few years ago, I was trying to get my state rep down here to introduce legislation to at least, you can't just outright ban it, because her committee chairman at the time was a former, some kind of executive of Cargill, which is also around here. So he was not going to let that go down. So I was like, okay, how about we at least reduce the levels drastically? Let's reduce it by, 80%. And by then, if you're just putting that little, why do we have to have all this extra training? I don't know if you hear the commercials on the radio for the variable frequency drives. That's what those are. They introduced that into the municipal water supply. They're there to meter that stuff out. There's a whole industry around this stuff. And it's a whole, it's several line items in municipal budgets. And so it's, if you could just reduce the amount they have to put in there, it's no longer justifiable on the budget.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
Hey, Buddy's here.
Mr. Buddy Cantrell is in the
Twitter
building.
poster extraordinaire.
Hey, Buddy, if you want to join the stream, just say so in the comments, please.
And
Otherwise,
we'll send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send you the link. emc.net. I don't know. I don't think we caught up on all of Matthew's.
He's just going off on all the crazy stuff that they put in things.
I think he is.
Aspartame. What didn't Donald Rumsfeld have a role in that one? With
I believe so.
Yeah. What was aspartame again? I remember
Fucking
hearing that a
Diet
lot.
Cokes and shit.
That's
Yeah,
right.
artificial
That's
sweetener.
It's really bad for your short-term memory.
And
Oh,
it
that's great.
metabolizes into wood alcohol, right?
Oh my gosh.
Something awful. But yeah, that was one of Donald Rumsfeld's many gifts to the world, aside from losing $1 trillion in the couch cushions. He was before he was what was he, Secretary of State? Yeah, he was a Searle Chemical Company, and he was lobbying the FDA to approve it.
Of course he was.
Yeah,
of course he was.
We know all you need to get an FDA approval is cash.
Right.
Like, does your drug work? Not really, but here's some money.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, right?
We'll deal with the class action lawsuit in 20 years. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll pay it out. Like the Sackler family, going back to Dope Sick.
Yep.
We'll pay it out. It's a fraction of the profits they've made.
Fraction. It's crazy. They were listing off how many times Johnson & Johnson has been sued and lost. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how much money they've had.
Well, Johnson & Johnson's the one who put asbestos in your baby powder.
Hey, for that budget, that's asbestos you're going to get, man.
They also put HIV in the factor 8 for hemophiliacs.
Jeez.
That was back in the 80s.
OxyContin is non-addictive. Y'all know that? Y'all know it's non-addictive?
I heard some songs that differ.
Yeah. It's also, they were talking about how and again, I got to keep referencing. I didn't know we were going to go on this medical tirade, but I listened to the 2 perfect podcasts for this week. On the Brigham Bueller one, they were talking about how not Brigham Bueller, maybe, I don't know, one of the two. They were talking about how every bit of Alzheimer's research for like 50 years was done off of a study that was a 100% lie. And so they were basing everything off what this one study had proven. And so in 50 years, they wasted getting no good research done on Alzheimer's.
But that's why I won't give to the Alzheimer's Association. Sorry, I'm chiming in.
Introduce yourself.
Come on, Peanut Gallery.
My mother has Alzheimer's, and they wanted me to chime in on the. They wanted me to help for the Alzheimer's walk. I said absolutely not, because I know the money's not going to it.
Yep, and one thing that a lot of the Alzheimer's groups flat out refuse to acknowledge that the original study was a lie, even though it's been 100% proven, and so they just dig their heels in further and won't pivot at all.
It's just like Susan G. Komen.
Oh yeah,
the breast cancer stuff. We don't give, even though his mother had breast cancer, very close to our hearts, but we know it's not going to help.
Yeah, Susan Komen, I think they give maybe 5% to actual research.
Jeez,
that's ridiculous.
Jeez.
Wait, what's the point at that? At that such a low percentage?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what is the point? That's why I like. Zach says, "Hey, Mary."
Why isn't Zach in here with us?
Zach never comes. Oh no, he did. He came on.
He came on once.
Yeah.
We get people to drop in. Jared's been in the comments, and Jared's not here. So
Jared doesn't like showing his face because Jared Bell thinks that Jared Bell is going to get fired, and Jared Bell. I'm just going to keep saying his name so he gets in the algorithm.
Well, Jared Bell had a large role in your movie, and Jared Bell is credited on IMDb.
Yeah, he plays himself in the movie, apparently.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
the role he was born to play.
For anyone who has not seen it yet, my documentary came out last Thursday night. We had a premiere for it. It was freaking awesome. Everybody seemed to have a great time.
Yeah.
A lot of questions. There was half libertarian folks there, half non-libertarian folks, and all the non-libertarian folks had lots of questions for Shane, which was great. It was awesome. We did a Q&A afterwards. That was fun. But it's out online now. You can Peaceful Sea Productions. You can go to my website and rent it, buy it, spread it, share it around.
If you buy it, you get the bonus features.
If you buy it, you get the bonus features, and there will be more coming You'll get every Shane speech that he's done for the last year and a half, along with like the full Spike Cohen interview, the full Angela McArdle interview, all that kind of stuff. So self-promotion, you know, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, but like Jake said, I mean, you had Angela McArdle, chair of the National Libertarian Party, in there. You had Spike Cohen, Robbie the Fire Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you know.
You want to know Mike Mueller?
Not that I can think of.
No, I don't know him either.
No.
Apparently, he's an independent film director in the Henry County area. Yeah, no, never heard of him.
Interesting. Maybe someone you should make friends with.
Maybe. I've been sending out free rentals to some folks who have presences on Twitter. Big presences. Is that a freaking word? Why does that word sound so stupid? A big presence? How about that?
There we go.
So I'm hoping to get this thing. I mean, our Times Square ad was on for the last week. It is no longer up. So we got some traffic from that, but not.
Did you watch it on the live stream, like the live stream of Times Square?
Man, it was so hard to see. Like, I'm sure it popped up when I was watching, but it, like, those Times Square live streams, it's so like washed out and not great to
Yeah.
like, the billboard was all the way in the distance. So like even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to see. I tried to have my animator go up and take a picture of it, but I'm not sure he made it up there. Might be a little more on the progressive side of the spectrum. Well, that's okay. I make movies with lots of people. Here, I'll put it in the.
You kind of have to expect that in the film industry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. There are not many liberty-minded filmmakers, which is why I had to make a movie.
Yeah, it's what, Kevin Sorbo, and that's it.
Kevin's.
Rob Schneider. He was quoting Mises the other day.
Yeah, Rob Schneider does quote me.
He was telling people to read The Anti-Capitalist Mentality, and damn it, I did.
I love that. Yeah, I mean there aren't many. I know, like it didn't.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn go on Tom Woods.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
and
Vince Vaughn and Rob
South Park
Schneider
guys.
both were.
Those guys are openly libertarian.
Yeah,
you got John Voight and Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
All
Clint
right.
Eastwood says he is, but
Clint
I have my
Eastwood's not.
doubts.
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood's not.
He's. I mean,
Sajak, maybe.
Republican.
He wants you to leave him alone. That's about as far as that goes.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, he's kind of scary, so I think I will.
Yeah, no, that's fair. After Gran Torino, you don't want to mess with him anymore.
That was a good movie, though.
That was a good movie. What were we saying? Oh yeah, how did we even get here? We were talking about currency. Who brought up healthcare? I think somebody in the comments. I think
it was in the comments, and we
Okay.
just rolled with it because that's what we do.
Well, I mean, you need currency to pay for healthcare. I think there's a link there. I don't know.
So yeah, that's one way to make healthcare affordable. Stop destroying the currency.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
That'll do it.
Aha.
And Tom Woods on his show, he was talking about a guy, I forget what state, but his doctor's office runs on like a subscription system. They do everything in-house, and they only take cash. They refuse to use the insurance system, so everything's way more affordable. All their prescriptions are super cheap too.
All right. Can they take Bitcoin? Can they switch to that? Because that would be great.
That would be great. Avoid the NFT doctor's offices, though.
CBDC urgent care.
I've got this picture.
Oh, yeah.
So you have exceeded your carbon credits for the month. We're going to have to give you some tainted antibiotics this time.
Right.
It's just like being in England.
We can't admit you until you delete your last Twitter post.
Oh my gosh.
That meme was fire.
Oh goodness. We are headed to that world. So
see, we make dystopia fun. And
yeah,
you need that.
PayPal was just testing the waters. That wasn't a mistake.
No,
They were just seeing if
absolutely
you were
not.
paying attention.
It's like,
What wasn't a mistake? Sorry.
Oh, they're fining people $2,500 for misinformation.
What?
Oh yeah, they put that in their it leaked that there was some new term that they could if you spread misinformation they could fine you up to $2,500. Then
Wait a
everyone
second.
got mad and said
Wait.
they said never mind.
Okay, so they can't do. They're not doing that anymore.
That's what they said, but
Because
we'll see.
We already got dinged for spreading misinformation on this YouTube channel, and the only way I get paid for my movie is through PayPal. So I'd prefer
we'll
not
keep the
to.
misinformation to a minimum.
That's really just not possible. All right,
Yeah.
Chris has a real question: is Herschel Walker going to run all over Warnock?
You can't even run on YouTube.
Well, see,
I
you know,
heard he
he's
stole
got-
everyone's dog, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Herschel had multiple personality syndrome, then decided he was a bobsledder.
Well, then he also what trained with the FBI and was a member of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office and whatever else he claimed.
See, he used that FBI training to apprehend his unborn kid. That's what I heard.
Well, he's got the solution to the Russia crisis because when he played for Georgia, he was Russian all the time.
Ah, good one. What's up, buddy?
Hey, friends, what's up?
How you doing?
What's up?
Oh, well, it was great. It was a fun day, but I heard y'all were talking about drugs a minute ago.
Yeah,
The Sackler family, Anoxy.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
tell us if you're a cop.
I know about that. Oh no, oh, actually, that was probably so. I got a history with that stuff, and actually, shortly after the silly truth of that coming out of my addiction problem, about 6 days clean is when I first heard Michael Malice's very first Rogan podcast. And that made a lot of sense to me, and that kind of like, well, hell, now I'm here. That's funny. I mean, it's a much longer story. I won't bore you with, but
Tell it.
you know,
buddy. Have you?
no.
Do you know everybody in this stream right now?
No, I don't. I was at my son's football game, so I don't know Steve and whoever Jeffrey is.
Yeah,
We
and
met
I don't
at
think
a
we've met either.
convention.
Oh, well, hello. I was the only people in real life that I met was at the convention, the state convention last year.
I was the guy that
And,
looked like an angry history teacher.
Yeah, that's all.
Matthew says he knows none of us. And hi.
Hi.
Hey, we have Captain Ancapistan about to join us.
Oh, cool.
What's up, Cap?
There he is.
Yo. What's up, fellas?
Hey,
So,
this is a 6-person stream tonight, y'all. This is nuts.
We got a
I
whole party going
jumped
on
in-
here.
Watch briefly while y'all were watching that AOC video, and then I was watching Survivor with the wife. So, what's
Wait,
up?
Survivor
Who
still
survived?
is on?
Survivor is still on. It's the best show on network television.
That's not saying much.
I know it's not. It's an easy claim to make.
Is it like have like Metamucil commercials and stuff?
you got to stay
I
regular,
buy it
man.
off Amazon, so I skip all the commercials.
At least a reverse mortgage, you know.
Interesting. I would never. I'd never even have thought that Survivor was still on. That thing was on when I was in high school.
It's on season 43.
It
What?
won't go away.
They do 2 a year.
But that,
That's
yeah,
still a
I was
lot.
about to say that doesn't mean 43 years. Yeah.
It started in 2000.
See, I'm not that old.
But like it's like with American Idol, like that finally went away, and then like a year later they said, "Oh, we're bringing it back," and it's like, oh, God
Survivor
damn it, we
never
don't
went
need this
away,
many.
and it's been holding steady on viewership for like over a decade.
It's because there are no original ideas left anymore.
Dude, it's like sports. People aren't like, oh, the NFL's still around. Survivor's awesome.
Yeah, well, the NFL
Who
sucks.
survived?
Hot take of the evening: Survivor's awesome.
Y'all can
that-
be wrong. That's fine.
That's going to
think
get
that
us
violates
more
the
hate
NAP.
than anything we've ever said on here. Let's see.
It did get pretty woke the first season after COVID, but they dialed back on it a little
Did
bit.
they do a season with masks?
No, but they took that year off and then they came back and they shortened the show, and I don't know, the first season back was kind of weird,
Wait,
but
a
it's
show-
back in the groove.
A show called Survivor took a break for the pandemic. That doesn't seem. They're really
Yeah,
holding
I mean,
true.
I
feel
feel
like
like
that
you
could have
were
been their
ultimate
best season,
Survivor there,
right?
Yeah. Which
You
one
just-
is going to live?
You implant COVID in one organism somewhere on the island, and everybody just has to live their everyday life, and the last person alive wins.
Dude, CBS
Survivor
is like
Wuhan.
the worst network overall. Like almost all their shows are fucking like CIA propaganda. It's like fucking NCIS, and it's all that shit is all on CBS.
Isn't their average viewer like 63 years old?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's a horrible network.
It went down 10 years after Jag went off the air.
They had How I Met Your Mother. That was okay.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
a decent
okay.
show.
No one
Looking-
needs
it
8
didn't
years to
age
tell the
well.
story of how they met their mother.
Well, that's
They dragged it out
bizarre.
too long.
They did.
They really dragged. Yeah, by the end it got stale, but most of the show was good.
It's
CSI
basically
was
the
cool in
exact same show
2000.
as Friends and Scrubs. They're like all the same 3 show.
Yeah, they are. Y'all, starting to hear stuff like this. Some Georgia candidates expected to be no-shows when series of debates kick off. for
I'm
the
sure
Atlanta
that will
Press
affect them
Club.
0%. Who watches any debates other than the presidential debate?
Well, I don't know, man. People seem to be excited about the governor debate.
That would be nice.
Yeah, Jake.
I feel like if people had really watched the last one, I would have heard more about people talking about how the Libertarian candidate had one ear.
No, they were all
Well,
watching the January
but
6th
debates
hearing.
aren't about making points. Debates aren't about answering the question. They're just about throwing catchphrases out there, and then making your team go woo, yeah. So, there's no actual real. We're not talking about like a Soho Forum debate here where real issues get brought up and hashed out.
Yeah, but they
We're
will
talking
if
about-
Shane Hazel's involved.
Dude, Shane could drop fucking bombs.
Dude, if they show up to that debate, it's gonna he's just gonna rain down hell on him. It's gonna be awesome. I
know he's got dirt on both of them.
Well, it doesn't even I just think he's gonna just ruin the debate. It's not gonna be civil. There's not gonna be I'm so looking forward to.
He needs to pull
that
Trump
happening.
tactics and just keep.
He's just got to call
him
them
shut his
murder
mic off.
cult.
He's gonna call them murder cult repeatedly.
These two in their murder cult.
Oh man.
Well,
Yeah.
then I actually liked Austin Peterson. Now, of course, I mean he left the plantation, I guess you could say, but that was part of my wife's journey to being a libertarian. We sat down and we watched. Well, it was Austin Peterson and John McAfee. And Gary
McAfee was
Johnson.
in there, right? Yeah.
And they were all debating on John Stossel's show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I'm a libertarian. I'm like, yes, you are.
We had, that year you had those guys, and then you ended up with Gary Johnson.
Did they run against Gary Johnson?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. McAfee could not have been our presidential nominee. That dude was great dude, but weird as crap, man. So weird.
He is a great dude. He's still alive on an
That
island
dude
somewhere.
lives. He lives like a king that's got.
Yep.
We're losing
Yeah,
Buddy.
Buddy did mention in the private chat that his connection is terrible. So if he pauses like that, just ignore it and talk over
See in
him.
the boonies?
I don't think he lives in the boonies. He just lives near Savannah.
If I was John McAfee and I told my girlfriend that I faked my own death and she told the world, I'd be a little mad.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. Well,
Yeah,
hey
you're not
guys.
supposed to. Also, why did you tell your girlfriend that?
Right.
That seems dumb.
He had some really impressive campaign videos, though. I don't know if you guys saw those. He put them up on YouTube. It was what was the catchphrase he was throwing out? Let life live. So I mean, as far as the fundamentals of the campaign, they were great.
Yeah.
It's just that guy was wild.
He's wild.
Yeah.
Man. He's wild. He lived on a boat in the middle of nowhere. Like, he's wild.
He was running around with machine guns on it, I think, or whatever else he had. I know he got stopped with guns in places, and then
whose podcast did he do where he was just basically like, it was all black, like you could barely see his face because he was like, I can only do this for a certain amount of time because if I have a signal out for too long, I'll get tracked. And he's like in a blacked out room on a boat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Freaking nuts.
I know when the COVID stuff started and the masks started, he was he had videos of him wearing his wife's underwear on his face to he got arrested for that one in one of these weird countries.
That's crazy. Matthew, no need to apologize, man. We'd definitely love to have you on sometime. So we generally do these Thursday nights at this point. We kind of hit our stride doing Thursday nights. So next week or whenever, just hit us up in the comments and we'll send you a link to get on here.
There you go. And Matthew, send me a like if you want to get in touch with your local affiliate. You said you're in Hampton, Henry County, that area. I can definitely plug you up with those guys.
Nice. We used to have a great guy in Henry County, and he disappeared, dropped off the face of the earth.
Who's that?
Garrett Holt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to work with him, actually.
Ah, love
Really?
Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a powerhouse with getting people into the party and doing work, but
I think I used to confuse him with Jared.
I did too at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, are you Garrett or Garrett?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know who Jared was for a while. I assumed it was the same person and somebody just misspoke.
Yeah, last time I was talking to Garrett, he was talking about going to Anarchapulco or something.
What the frick
he
is Anarchapulco?
talked about Mexico for a
really?
while there.
Yeah.
He talked
Oh man,
He
Dad
had a
just had a
bunch
whole
of
thing on
ideas.
Anarchapulco. There was crime.
Yeah, did you guys watch The Anarchist on HBO?
Oh, I've been meaning to watch
No.
that.
I was skeptical.
I watched it.
I heard
It
it was
was
terrible.
all right. I mean, it was
It
what?
seemed-
I heard it was terrible.
It was
those ideas are never
okay.
accurately represented.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah.
what they did was they tried to turn make the Anarchapulco conference look like it was this full community or whatever that was down there. But really you just had Berwick living, like a crazy rich person down there. And then a bunch of other people just doing anarchist stuff, and that led to people dying. I don't know.
It sounded like a lowercase b Burning Man to me.
Who in our chat was saying that the Georgia version of Burning Man just happened, but they have a vaccine mandate?
Oh my
Zach
god.
said that.
Ah,
Zach might have said that in the text group.
That makes sense.
That's
That's the most dangerous thing you'll catch at Burning Man.
That's so stupid, dude.
See,
But the
Jeffrey,
My Body,
I
My
thought
Choice
that
rally.
would be right up your alley.
Hey,
The hippie
no.
stuff.
Were
It's
any
like
of
the My
y'all,
Body, My Choice rally had a vax mandate.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
That's so funny.
We live in the Veep universe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need to rewatch that show. That show's so stinking good.
You should check the original series that guy did. It's called The Thick of It. It's about it's in England. It's a bit more intense than Veep because he didn't care then, and apparently the HBO wasn't so keen on him making fun of our government as intensely as he did the British government.
Oh my gosh, it went on for 8 seasons. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because Veep is hysterical. And
I think I watched the pilot.
A Veep?
Yeah, that's the one with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
And
I'm not smart enough for that show.
That show is so stinking funny though. Like it's exactly what I would.
It's too-
like a
it's-
What's that?
it's just too fast. I'm not smart enough to like process all the joke. Like it's too like.
Yeah, it is too like.
It definitely is.
Did y'all see when Malice had Justin Amash on and he asked him if Congress was more like Veep or House of Cards?
Oh, that's funny because I was about to say I think Congress is like DC is basically a combo of those two.
And he said it was more like House of Cards, but that the Congress people care less about legislation than they do on House of Cards.
Veep's
That
funny
makes
because
sense.
it's bad things happening to terrible people, and that's
Yes.
just good fun.
Yes, that's great fun.
I mean, that's if the universe worked right, that's how it would work, right?
Oh, the guy that did Veep, he did that movie, The Death of Stalin, I was telling y'all about.
Oh, that movie's so stinking funny. I saw that in theaters.
Apparently, his family got mad about it, but it's like, don't be a shithead.
Like, what? They got mad about the death of Stalin?
Yeah, they're like, it's not funny to laugh about someone's death. I'm like, he killed hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah,
you lose the moral high ground at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
They should
fine.
make his death a holiday.
Exactly.
I celebrate Che's death day.
Love it.
Wasn't that just the other day?
It
Yeah.
was. It was
Yeah,
pretty
'cause
sweet.
He's still getting praised by a whole bunch of idiots.
It's like all the
Yeah.
people who praise him, honestly, are against what he stands for.
I know. It's crazy.
Like,
They
he
have
was
no
super
idea
racist,
what they're talking about.
super
You mean how
homophobic.
he was a super racist?
He killed musicians because he hated musicians.
Stalin did?
No,
No.
Che.
Che.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
hated.
Che was a psychopath.
He was super racist, super homophobic, hated musicians, and hated the Jewish folk. But yes, progressive hero.
Yeah, it's wild.
Uh.
It is wild seeing people still wearing Che shirts. I remember the
Look,
first time I saw someone in a Che shirt in high school, I laughed because I thought they were wearing it ironically. They were not, and he gave me like this look like, why are you laughing?
It's like,
I
so
was like,
you're
oh,
racist?
is that not a joke?
And yeah, like people are still writing articles and like doing videos about how awesome he was. And it's just
He
like,
rode his motorcycle for a while and wrote a book about it. Cool.
jeez.
He-
Mary,
okay.
Mary unplugged the Wi-Fi, and that's why we lost Steve.
Looks like we're losing Buddy too.
yeah, I mean,
Good to be able to put a face to a name.
yes. Yeah. He says send the link. Oh, Matthew. Should we invite Matthew on for this time around, y'all? Y'all wanna bring
Whatever.
in
We're doing whatever we want tonight, right?
Let's do whatever we want.
Isn't that what
Probably
this is?
easier than the comment section.
Let's see.
Yeah, if he's going to be engaged, we might as well just get people on. Whatever.
Heck yeah. All right. I'm going to try to find him on Facebook so that I don't have to put it in the
Welcome
stream.
back.
You're back.
Thank you.
And
Sorry.
Buddy's gone.
We traded Buddy for
Lindsay wanted to charge her phone, and she unplugged the modem.
sorry.
no.
I'm so sorry.
Let's see. There he is. All right. Matthew, I just sent you the link to today's stream if you want to hop on. It's crazy how easy you can find somebody on Facebook.
So I made
Do y'all-
mine all as private as you can be.
Do y'all do like if you have a Facebook, do you do like private, no one can find you if they search for you kind of stuff?
I
Nah.
I have like
so.
my stuff fairly locked down on there, I believe.
Gotcha.
Dude,
you
I
can
have
find me by
3
searching,
Alexas in
but-
my house. I'm not as paranoid as I should be.
Yeah, you should definitely not have those.
I'm as
Although-
paranoid as I should be. I'm just not as careful.
That's yeah.
If you really want to find me, it's not hard.
It's a lot of effort to be paranoid, and I'm not all about it.
I think for me, it's less about being able to find me because I feel like there's really nothing you can do to stop that from happening. It's more like, can you hear every single bit of conversation that I have and see everything that I do in my house? Like,
I mean, you have a phone in your pocket, so it's happening anyway.
not
Okay,
all.
so-
I leave my phone out of the room when I'm
the
doing certain
Amazon
things.
Echo is listening to you all the time, right? Because it has to be able to hear you say Alexa, but it's not sending all of that data back to headquarters. That's a shitload of data that's taking up bandwidth and that would take up database space. And Amazon has like more server database space than anybody, but that's still just so wasteful for them to sit there and store everything.
I don't
So
think
they're not
they would be
sitting
the
there-
ones
and I'm
storing
not
it.
important. Like maybe they're listening to Kanye West or some shit, but they're not going to listen to me.
Cap, I don't think they're the ones listening to it.
Even still, that's a ton of database information for the NSA to hold, and they outsource their databases to the Amazon, don't they?
But do you think they keep it forever? I don't think they keep it forever. I think if they like
That's what I'm talking about.
I think they would delete things after like a certain amount of time. But if they're listening to me do things that they think is illegal, then they're going to keep things like that. I would imagine.
So it might pick up it might have some AI in it to pick up certain keywords, but the way that the Echo works is they usually the AI is on the back end. It's not actually on the machine that's in your house, which is why it doesn't work when you don't have an internet connection.
Right.
Like if you say Alexa, play something, it won't even be like, sorry, I can't play that right now. It's like, sorry, I'm not connected to the internet. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Right. Well, that's at least what they want you to believe. Does an Echo have do we know if an Echo has like a hard drive in it? Like can it store data?
I mean, mine's like the very, very first generation, so I wouldn't think so. Zach says the NSA says they store everything. I don't. That's so much data. It's so much data.
I remember reading some articles. This was 5-6 years ago about when everybody was getting mad about Verizon and AT&T storing the super cookies on your smartphones. There was one story that there was a guy that murdered somebody out in California, and that was how they found him. Was someone was on their phone and he was in the house in the background saying something, and so they knew, oh, he was here 3 days ago, and then they were able to catch up to him.
Well, that's terrifying. I don't care for that. No, I don't like that at all.
Right.
Who is Greg C. Sidwell? Anybody know Greg?
He's that frog. That
Calvin
J. Frog.
Of some sort.
Well, he says Facebook doesn't like what he posts very much.
Same.
So,
although my county page is way less monitored than my personal page, it seems. I posted something about burning down government buildings on my county page. I didn't say anything, but I got flagged for a 6-year-old meme on my personal page.
That's so weird. Also, why can't LP George's Twitter get freaking verified? How stupid is that?
We're a political action organization.
Irrelevant.
It is weird. Some of the other state affiliates that have fewer followers are verified.
yeah, we just have to wait for Daddy Elon to finish purchasing.
Daddy Elon. Greg says he is a member of LP Georgia. So we're just going to go crazy with it and invite on yet another person.
All right.
I mean, why not, right? We'll just load up the stream here and just see what happens.
I love
it. Get Oprah. I bet she has some.
Are we going to talk about the Alex Jones trial? Do we want to go there?
Talk about the what?
Alex Jones trial.
Ooh. Yeah, I kind of do, because there was a little bit of controversy around.
What like charging a man $1 billion for?
Yeah,
mean words are bad, guys.
And it seems like on libertarian Twitter, there seems to be the people who understand that the dangerous precedent this sets, and then it's a private court, bro. They can charge $1 billion to whoever they want.
It was a jury of his peers.
It was a jury trial as far as punishment, but there was no opportunity to even defend against it. And that's the details I haven't picked up on completely, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass here.
In a jury trial, don't they decide whether he's guilty, and then the judge decides the penalty?
Well, it's a civil trial, so What happened in there is that's why I don't have all the details here, but something in there with Discovery, I don't know, but it turned into a bit of a kangaroo court process, and the judge ended up finding a default verdict against him. So basically, it was, well, you're not cooperating, so I find against you automatically. And so that is why the trial was only about damages, and these damages are $1 billion, which I'm fucking sorry on this, but let's remember Sandy Hook here and what actually happened. Alex Jones was not in the school that goddamn day. It was Adam Lanza, and the Lanza estate settled for a little under $2 million over this. And what we ended up having here is the guy who talks on the internet for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gets charged $1 billion in damages.
That's crazy.
And it's absolutely absurd. And if anything is just in this world, it's not going to hold up on appeal.
Yeah,
it should probably get tossed.
Well, and this specific trial, if I'm not mistaken, so there was the previous one that happened in Texas. That judge there told him before the trial that you are not allowed to talk about the First Amendment, or there was 2 or 3 other things that he was told beforehand that you're not allowed to mention this during the trial.
What?
And it's like, okay, so it's already a mistrial? Is that what you're telling me?
Right.
Basically, the judge was like, "You're already guilty. We're just here to figure out how guilty."
That's basically what this
last one is. It was so you've been found guilty already. The jury's just here to calculate the damages.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
And they calculated what? I don't know exactly, because punitive damages I think are generally fairly capped, but the rest of it they're saying it. I think I might have heard that in Connecticut that the damages might be the punitive damages may have been capped at attorney's fees.
So y'all are talking about Alex Jones.
Yes.
I just walked in right on it. So yeah.
Matthew, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, guys. Y'all are my kind of people, man. So yeah, it's nice to meet you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for
my audio okay?
And all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you sound fine.
I was like the only one in the the audience there for a second. I was like, fuck it, let me just say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't cuss on here, right?
Oh, we definitely can.
We can. Okay, I apologize. Yeah. Okay, bet. I wasn't sure. I didn't want you to get pulled from PayPal or something there.
Yeah, you can't say vaccines don't work. You just can't say that.
Really?
You might be allowed to say that on YouTube now, but you definitely can't say anything about election
Twitter.
integrity.
No way, dude. No way. It's not happening.
Yeah. The only thing that'll get us kicked off these days is talking about how elections are rigged.
Wait, what?
How elections might be.
How dare you?
How some people believe they might be rigged.
Putin rigged 2016 election. Can we say that?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think that's the only acceptable answer.
Yeah, but Zach, you gotta factor in inflation.
Oh, that's true.
Inflation was not from 33 million up to.
So one vote now counts for 3.25 votes.
Well, Stacey Abrams kind of pumped the brakes there a little bit, when Trump started coming out with his stuff.
Hey, she was president of Earth on Star Trek. Show respect.
Count all the votes.
President of Earth. Oh, it's one of the most frustrating things that she was on Star Trek.
We're supposed to count all the votes? Like all of them?
Right.
So I don't know if we'll be approaching the limits of the algorithm here either, but did you see the results of the trial yet? In the last couple of days, the European Parliament had the CEO of Pfizer, and they were discussing, the whole COVID thing. And they said, "Hey, did you ever test the jabs for stopping transmission?" And he was just like, "No."
It was a she, and yeah.
Okay, there you go.
The Pfizer executive, he's like, "I'm going to speak in English, so there's no mistake here." And he was like, "Did you guys test for infection? And if not, say it clearly. And if so, can you please provide evidence?" And then she said, "No, we didn't, because we had to move at the speed of science."
Isn't the speed of science slow and testing?
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be. And the method is supposed to be questioning everything and gathering data and coming to conclusions, not coming to conclusions and then cherry picking your data to go with it. But that seems what science is these days is, oh, well, I know where I have to be on this conclusion to get my government funding to do X, Y, or Z. So
it doesn't even matter if like she can admit to whatever she wants because they have no liability. So it just doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
Like,
well, this was emergency use authorization. So this doesn't fall under the whole Reagan Vaccine Protection Act thing.
No, but under the EUA, they were given it anyway under the EUA to pump it out.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it technically doesn't fall under, especially under the EUA. And then there was all the tricky stuff they pulled with the release, and it's approved, but the approved version is not on the market, so you can only get the EUA version that's on the market because we changed the name of it, and that makes it a distinct legally distinct product.
Goodness gracious.
And then we approve that one. It's the same thing, but there were so many sneaky tricks played on this that weren't even that sneaky because we called it out as it happened in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, if Alex Jones is on the hook for $1 billion right now, what should they be on the hook for?
Right.
For saying stop transmission.
Like, because all he did, I mean, he caused emotional damage to some families, and they literally caused physical and emotional damage to like half the world.
Right, but if he owes $1 billion,
like,
if Alex Jones owes $1 billion for questioning what he did there, what does CNN owe for the war in Iraq, the war, and how many millions of people are dead at the hands of these corporate media giants pushing what we know are lies now? They are dead because of this. How many soldiers are dead? How many Iraqis are dead?
Mm-hmm.
And they continue just to...
As much as we hate to say it, Alex brought a lot of truth with his shit for a long time. And
yes, he did.
Yes, he did get a little wackadoodle here and there, but they want to silence him. Is what it is,
Well, that's not even in question, right? I mean, it's not like I didn't pay attention to a whole lot, but some shows I listened to, played clips from the trial. And in the opening statements, the lawyers for the plaintiffs are saying, help us silence him forever.
Exactly
make
right.
it so that
exactly
he can never
right.
speak again.
Yeah,
and it's like
InfoWars to come down
because they were like, if we shut down his company, we shut down his broadcast, we take away his supplement company, he's just going to buy a megaphone and go on the street corner. We got to stop that too. You're going to rip out his vocal cords? Like, what are you planning on doing here?
Yeah, I feel like no matter what happens to him, he's still going to be able to get a massive audience and keep doing what he does. Because
Rogan will still have. I assume Rogan's going to have him on after this.
Bring Eddie Bravo along
right?
too.
Like, they're both in
almost
Austin.
Certainly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he'll definitely be on Rogan again soon.
Tim
I mean,
have him on. Michael
Malice will have him on. Yeah.
Well, Malice had him on not that long ago.
That was a good one worth watching too, because he talked about like all the shit he's going through at that trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't Malice have him on like just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
I want to say it was like a month ago.
Yeah, maybe 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, it was.
I don't watch InfoWars, but when Alex Jones is on a podcast that I do watch on occasion, I watch that podcast for sure.
It was late July, so it wasn't just a month ago.
Yeah,
it was late July,
right.
but he was discussing the whole thing, and I mean, it looks like a railroad job, and I mean, like I said, the punitive damages don't hold up there. I think most of this is in compensatory damages or whatever, and there's no way all of these people total up to $1 billion in damages. I mean, that's pharmaceutical level company damages.
Right.
Asinine.
That is crazy.
I mean, it is like these parents went through a lot, right? And it does really suck that they had to go through even more over that. But like,
yes.
And Alex Jones has a lot of money. He is like
I don't think he's a
I wanna say He
billionaire.
had like 100
No.
million or something. Yeah, he has a lot of money,
No.
but like,
Well, according to the Economist, they brought into the jury. That was one days of the trial that there was an economist analyzing what his average sales could be based on his internet traffic or something like that. And they're like, oh well, he's worth $500 million.
What?
And
Sure.
yeah, that's an absolutely absurd number. I mean,
He's selling iodine, y'all. He's selling iodine. It's okay.
I mean, I was listening to, because I figured this was going to come up tonight. I listened to his interview. He did on my way back home, since I had to drive 3.5 hours today. I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this 2-hour interview with him, and I'm just going to, hear his story and go with it. And he's claiming, and he's saying it's in court record, so I don't know, and I'd have to go double check this, but his claim is that all of the constant harassment that they claim was a total of 23 minutes over the course of 4 years. For a guy who has been to streams 3 or 4 hours a day.
What?
Well, and a lot of what they were showing was one of the guys. He was a contributor. He wasn't an official reporter. The guy's name was Dan Badandi. And that was, so he posted one video. He sent him one video, and Alex put it on his show. And he's like, hey, by the way, guys, I fired him for this. Like, I told him, don't send me anything anymore, ever, period. This is ridiculous. He's like, I didn't pay him for this report. He sent me this. This was not under my direction. And that was like 6 months after Sandy Hook. I watched that show.
Wow.
So, I like everything there,
So they're just trying to make a point.
Yeah. But also, as libertarians here, I think I think part of this is that we believe people control their own actions. And that I was asking around earlier, were there any specific calls that he ever put out and it was like, oh, go harass these people, or these constant harassment and threats or whatever they got from people? Is that coming from idiots being idiots from the internet? I mean, sorry. Yeah, he said something stupid. I mean, but if stupid person 1 says something and stupid person 2 takes that and then goes and does something fucking way out there, sorry, stupid person 2 is still the one responsible for stupid person 2's actions.
Right. Hey, whoever started the Tide Pod challenge owes me $200 million.
Right.
That's done more harm than I would wager, right? Like,
and
did actual children die from that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the other point, because
Like,
that
that's
came up
horrifying.
on came up on Dave Smith's latest podcast. There was, the danger of misinformation. What danger? I think Tide Pods were brought up as the thing.
Well, so to the person, the danger is that they will, like, when there's a pandemic and everyone needs to stay inside and wear masks, that people will spread misinformation that masks don't work or that the vaccines don't work, or that this is all hypothetical. I'm saying that this is the misinformation that people will spread, and then people will die from it. Like, how many people believe that? It's a high number, more than we have libertarians.
Yeah, sadly, that some of that misinformation came from the sources themselves. Remember Fauci and his, oh no, masks don't do anything, and then 2 weeks later, wear your damn mask. I mean,
yeah, he was right when he said people don't know how to wear masks.
That's yeah.
I remember Dave Smith made fun of him for that back in the early times, and now Fauci was right. People don't know what the fuck they're doing, especially with an N95. If you're wearing an N95 and you have a beard, you're not doing it right.
Correct.
Or when you take it off, you throw it on the seat of your car and you throw it right back on.
And you reuse it. Yeah.
Yeah. When the pandemic was hitting and no one knew what the heck was going on, I researched like 6 hours on a mask that worked with a beard. There just aren't any. It was like you had you had to get a full like hazmat suit in order to make that work.
Ah, man, I was wearing an N95 early on. Back when they were saying don't have the N95s because the medical professionals need them. My mom had like 6 of them. She gave me a couple. I'm out buying beer in a N95 and wearing like lunch lady gloves, like just throwaway plastic gloves. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. My wife was pregnant too, So I was like extra worried about that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, we were going through Zika when my wife was pregnant. That was
shit.
I had her pounding vitamin B1 because I was like, oh, the mosquitoes won't like you if you have a lot of B1 in your system. I don't know if it's true, but just do it.
Y'all, I want to watch this. It's the Pfizer deal. I want to see
If you
this.
don't get vaccinated, you're antisocial. This is what the Dutch Prime Minister and Health Minister told us. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking, this committee, this end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small, heb ik de volgende vraag waar ik een duidelijk antwoord op wil. And I will speak in English so there are no misunderstandings. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stop and immunization before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandalous. Millions.
What the crap? She said it so like nonchalantly.
Well, and compare this with, if you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, this was late 2019. Might have been November, might have been December. Late 2019, the WHO and the UN got together and they had this emergency meeting about
2021.
No, 2019.
201. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, but they had this emergency meeting saying, global vaccination rates have drastically plummeted. People aren't taking the shots anymore. They're skeptical. They're starting to have questions, this, that, and the other. And I mean, this was prominent doctors and scientists from all over the planet sitting in the UN chambers, and they were just talking about what's going on. And then a lot of them were asking, hey, have we ever done, intersectional studies of, if you get this trivalent and this quadrivalent, 3-in-1 and a 4-in-1, and on this demographic, have we ever tested this? And the whole room was just silent. No. So
heck.
Things that make you go, right? It could be a coincidence. I'm sure
they don't do a lot of studies on, like, once the vaccine's out. My understanding, because I've read not that much of it, but the RF Kennedy Jr.'s book. There we go. RFK Jr. His book, Real Anthony Fauci. He's talking about like they just don't even ask these fucking questions, and you get shut down for trying to do studies to see if the vaccines do harm.
Well, they don't do the double-blind placebo controlled studies because it would be unethical to not give someone that and follow them for X number. That's the claim that's been made, is it would be unethical to not give someone the vaccine for science.
It was around circa 2019, and it was before it got here on our piece of land. And I remember reading some peer-reviewed materials from some doctors from India and also Pakistan, and they ended up having to redact their statements because all of their licenses and things were going to get pulled if they didn't. So yeah, there's some shady shit going on for sure.
Goodness gracious.
Well, and so going back to Chris's question from earlier, that's another problem with the medical system. So if we want to fix that, we kind of have to, I don't know, get the lobbying out of it somehow. It's
too much money.
Moved away from the scientific theory. With you form a hypothesis, you create tests, and then you run a conclusion off of the results of your tests based on your hypothesis. We've gotten away from that to now it's just this peer-reviewed model, and you have these academic overlords that have to justify what you're saying. Otherwise, your study's invalid. Whatever happened to the scientific method? Your doctor is supposed to be a scientist.
Peer review is a real double-edged sword. I get why people like it. It's just it also has a group. It's weak to groupthink, basically.
Yeah, and it also it just puts more people looking at a study is great, but it also allows more people the opportunity to get paid off and bought and all that kind of stuff. So like this thing, did y'all listen to the Zuckerberg Rogan thing?
I saw that one clip.
Yeah,
about the FBI.
Yeah, he was talking about how they outsource their misinformation flaggers to some other company because they don't want to be the arbiter of truth. But it's like, okay, well then who's this other company? It's the same with peer reviews. Who are these peers that are reviewing them, and are they bought by big pharma? It's just all a complicated mess of nonsense.
Segueing back to the Joe Rogan experience, 725, Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson's one of my favorite. I think
it's a good one.
Graham said it best that all of these individuals have spent their entire lives and so much money and everything building up, their infrastructure for what they believe in, much like the individuals in the medical field who want to go cut on you and don't want to sell you stem cells kind of thing. There's just too much time and money invested in something for them to want to, admit.
Yeah. The sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. And people just don't like admitting that they're wrong as well. And it's too embarrassing. It'll cost them tons of money.
Their whole career was built on those studies and how much money they spent.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, yep. You can kind of understand it in a sense, but at the same time, where do we segue and move forward and try to be more objective and rational? And there's people like us. There's just not enough. There's not enough, and I think it's our genetics haven't caught up to our technology. We're tribal, communal creatures, and we're just dumb for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
For the last 2.5 years, we've been beaten over the head with wash your hands, wear your mask. Whatever happened to get some exercise, drink some water, get plenty of sleep, eat right.
Yes, get your vitamin D.
Raphael Warnock created Ebola. It's like, God damn, I know y'all are ready for that shit to end. Oh my God. Please, can these ads stop?
I have not seen that one.
Unfortunately, some of these races are good. Unfortunately because of the ads, but fortunately for us, we're going to drag most of these races, I think, to runoffs.
I mean, yeah, I think
the two big ones.
I think a bunch of the big ones. I think almost all of the big ones are going to go to a runoff.
I mean, Secretary of State almost certainly.
Yeah. Open make a strong case for ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice voting would be good.
Senate's at this point looking like it's going to go to a runoff.
Yep.
Secretary of State. Hopefully, we can throw governor and lieutenant governor to runoffs.
What do we know about
8% right now? Right?
Yeah. 7 to 8. But that's you never know. Different polls say different things. But we're definitely polling between 2 and 8% in every race. So
unfortunately, those polls degrade closer to election because people fall back into the whole, lesser of two evils vote.
Yeah,
Gary Johnson was polling at 13% in the summer of 2016.
Who was?
Gary Johnson.
Well, they're polling at South Lake Mall and Greenbrier. So
and it just went down.
Stonecrest. What's up, y'all? Gentlemen, thank you so much. I've enjoyed your time. My phone's about to die, and I'm grateful y'all let me come and interject. Y'all seem like some cool cats, and
absolutely, man.
I gotta tap out. So
all right, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Somebody send me a link. I would definitely like to come to a libertarian meeting and see what's going on in the state. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been politically active in a hot minute, so it's just like, what do you do? There's way too many sheep and not enough lions, but I can tell there's some lions in this room. So it's good to meet you guys. Like real talk.
Awesome.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks, Matthew.
Later,
See you later.
Yep.
All right. See it. Yes, you found them on Facebook there, Jake. So maybe send them whatever. And Steve, you're down that way, right?
Oh yeah, and my affiliate's got a meeting Saturday, so
nice.
Maybe I can get with him.
Heck yeah. What info should I send him, Steve? Steve, what info should I send him?
Let's see. Just hook him up with the Libertarian Party Fake Coweta.
I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, Mary's on it. She's right here to sign.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, y'all, I'm not going for 3 hours. I know I've said this before. I am just about tapped out. I'd rather sign off while we still have some viewership, whereas last time we had 0 by the time we finished.
Yeah, but we got to the spiciest stuff at the end.
No, you still had me. I wasn't showing up for some reason.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were hammered by the end. That's why we were saying some dumb shit.
Well, we had we had Will on, and Reed Coverdale popped in there, and
yeah, and Cap was on.
I was hammered by the time Reed showed up.
Yeah. Didn't you drink a full bottle of wine, or was that Will?
I had 2 glasses of wine and 2 beers, I think, but also on like an empty stomach and hadn't drank in a while.
Woo!
Baby hasn't come yet, Cap?
No. Baby won't come out.
Come on, baby.
Get out here, baby.
Well, guys, I'm good to keep going.
Hey, y'all can keep going if you want, but I'm gonna sign off. But I'll leave the stream up. Y'all can talk to your, as long as you want.
If Jake leaves, does the stream end? Because you're the only one with controls.
No. I'll leave the broadcast up. Just text me when it's done, and I'll turn it off.
We can kill it, I think, unless anyone's got something real crazy to do.
I'm good.
All right, cool. Well, y'all, I would prefer to keep these under 2 hours. I think I think more people will watch it afterwards if we keep it under 2
Yeah, the last
hours.
one was a doozy.
Yeah, but we did actually get a decent number of views for a 3 hour and 30-minute freaking live stream. Like,
wait till we do the 24-hour fundraising live stream.
Okay, what if we're gonna do that? We're gonna have a talent portion. What are you gonna perform? What are you gonna do?
That's
should we just watch like a gun being printed for 6 straight hours?
I mean, it could happen. Although that might be a good idea. I mean, we get a couple people rotating through. We could do a 24-hour donation marathon.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
All right, sounds good. Well, y'all, on Monday, we early voting starts on Monday. So if you know who you're going to vote for, go vote for them, and then start promoting that candidate, especially if that's a libertarian candidate. Also on Monday night is the first debate, which Abrams and Kemp are still scheduled to show up to, and Shane will be there to debate their pants off. So that'll be fun. We our Libertarian Party of Georgia podcast, the free Georgia podcast, comes out every Tuesday. I will be releasing it this Tuesday at 7 a.m. YouTube goes up the night before most of the time at 7 p.m. So if you follow us on YouTube, you get a early preview of it, or early viewing of it. So what else we need to promote, Nick?
Join the party, lpgeorgia.com.
lpgeorgia.com.
You're not a member, join. You can pay the $30, or I recommend that you pay $5 a month. That helps everyone out greatly. That provides consistent revenue coming in and lets decisions be made and lets us do really cool stuff. Like our executive director, Elizabeth Melton, did a great presentation on smart cities and the coming dystopia the other night.
Yes, she did.
So that was great, and we're doing all sorts of stuff, all sorts of little educational stuff as we can. And we'll probably kick that up more as, election season ends and we started getting into this lull and need to, get active and just build in between now and 2024. So there's that. So that is lpgeorgia.com.
Heck yeah.
Reminder, burn your trash for Europe. They're gonna be cold this winter. We need to increase that CO2 and get some trash burning. So burn your trash and
Perfect. Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
trying to think if there's
Follow
anything
LP
else.
Georgia on Twitter.
Follow LP Georgia on Twitter at LP Georgia. Steven, do you have anything?
Trick or treat for Ukraine.
Trick or treat for Ukraine.
We're not doing UNICEF anymore.
Gotcha.
It's all Ukraine now.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything you want to promote, Steven?
lpgeorgia.com. Obviously, anybody in Georgia listening, there's an affiliate near you. If you have trouble finding that, or you don't know who they are, or where they are, LP Georgia can hook you up with them. If you're on the south side of Atlanta, find me on Facebook. I can help you find most of the guys down here. Yeah. I mean, other than that, just do something. Right. Just share something on Facebook. Talk to people in the checkout line at the grocery store. Just stop being scared. I feel like the last few years have provoked people to just cloister themselves, and like we're not allowed to have discussions anymore. We get our opinions from the radio or the TV or a billboard, and that's we're not allowed to share anything anymore. Just interact with your neighbors. They're not as bad as the news says they are.
Darn right. And yeah, exactly. And if I like the saying, if you don't get involved in politics, then politics happens to you.
Right.
So get involved in some way, shape, or form. At the very least, get informed on what you're voting for, because if you're just voting straight ticket, you're doing it wrong.
PolitiFact just had a article. Pfizer executive admits vaccine was never tested for preventing transmission. False. All the way false.
Oh my gosh. We just played the actual video.
of the executive, like the source
of Pfizer saying it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Freaking and that's probably who's doing the misinformation checks on Facebook.
They're one of them.
Goodness gracious.
It was like PolitiFact and Snopes.
One of the fact checkers for Facebook was the a Wuhan scientist.
Oh my God. Their claim is just that it's not anything new. It's false because it's not new info.
I mean, it's really not new info if you pay attention.
Yeah, it's not, but like that.
It's not new info, but it's the first time they've said it out loud. Right? Like they've never.
But the answer was no revelation at all, according to Pfizer experts.
Goodness gracious!
Alleged revelation about Pfizer vaccine trial is nothing new.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we can end it there.
Yeah, vote libertarian this November.
Here's the thing: people are just gonna look at the headline, they're gonna see false, and then they're gonna keep going.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yep, that is how it works. All right, y'all.
All right,
I'm ending this. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for all the comments. I had a great time tonight, and we're gonna do it again most likely next Thursday. So look out for our posts because we'll announce it.
Thank you, fellas. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Nick.
Later,
Thanks,
guys.
Cap. Later, y'all.
GGs.